Welcome to another episode of the Roughly Related to Reselling podcast. My name is Perry Phillips. I go by Perry Flips on Instagram with a Z. And this is actually the 100th episode of the show. 100 episodes. If you like the show, make sure you subscribe and follow. Tell your friends so that way you can keep making more episodes. I'm going to keep making more episodes regardless. But follow me on Instagram, Perry Flips. Did I say that already? With a Z. I did say that. Flips and Giggles on Whatnot, and also on Facebook, and also on what's the other one? Giggles Facebook. Oh, eBay. eBay, dude. eBay. I forgot about eBay. No, I love eBay still. I'm still an eBay seller. But yeah, episode 100. Also, if you are like me and you're terrible with like getting your numbers in order, I don't like where I'm sitting. I'm gonna change. There we go. There's just a lot going on behind me. The background behind me looks like the my actual podcast logo because it's just a mess right now. We're currently getting ready for our estate sale, yard sale, and I just bought a storage unit yesterday. So we've got like my wife is. She's like, can we do the sale Saturday? I was like, no, dude. So she was planning on having the sale done on Saturday. Why is this black square on my eye? The fuck? I don't like that. It's going to distract me. There we go. Sorry, I'm fucking with the new camera. I tried to record last week with the camera, and I got about 40 minutes in, and it overheated and shut off. So I hit up my buddy, who knows way more about this stuff than I do, and he told me to change the setting. So that's what I did, and I'm hoping that it worked and that this is going to be fully on video, by the time the day is done. So we'll see how it goes. What was I just talking about before that? Oh yeah, duh. Okay, so if you're, I'm terrible at this. I'm really bad. Episode 100. You would think this would be better. It's crazy. So, all right. So hear me out here. Let's start over. Okay. If you're like me, tax season, your taxes are just terrible right now. Like, you got to get it done. I'm almost done. But the only reason I'm almost done is because I use my reseller genie. And now I'm proud to announce that I am a new affiliate for my reseller genie, so you can get 15% off. I think it's like a couple months free or something like that. I got to double check. Let me pull it up right now, just so I'm not telling you bad information. It'd be terrible to do that right off the bat, but I'm almost positive it's 15%. Hang with me, folks. I should have been more prepared. I'm gonna throw out some excuses here. In a little bit. So you get 15% off courses and 15% off your first month of software. So with my code GIGGLES. So if you are planning on using my reseller genie, it's great for getting your books in order. Use my code GIGGLES to get 15%. Yeah. So that's a big announcement for episode 100. I kind of teased it last week, but I didn't have confirmation. So yeah, that's where we're headed now. So anyway, let's get into the show. Enough with the pleasantries and all that stuff. It's episode 100. God damn it. I've been talking for 100 hours or plus, maybe give or take, maybe a couple less than 100 hours. 100 episodes for sure. 100% for sure. I am right now. I feel like I'm hungover, but I'm not. Friday night, we went out to dinner with our neighbors. We usually go out like Friday night with the neighbors. That's just kind of the night that always works out for everybody. And got home, kids went to bed, and it was like probably like 11 o'clock midnight. And my daughter woke up, threw up all in her bed. I was just about to fall asleep. Like, I was staying up a little late because I was like, I can get up, I can sleep in because there wasn't an early estate sale. So like just before midnight, my daughter threw up. So my wife like automatically wakes up when that happens. We, both go in the room. Anytime this shit happens, like we, tag team it. Like if one of the kids wakes up in the middle of the night, like usually it's my youngest and she wants mommy. Like if I go in, she'll start fucking freaking out. So just like, all right, just you go in, and you go through phases with kids. They get better and worse with sleep, and So my daughter throws up, and we're like, our other daughter threw up like a week before that. So we're like, maybe it's related, but like, who knows? So the next day she wasn't really hungry. She was like, I don't really want anything, this, that, and the other. So then Sunday rolls around, and my youngest is like, I'm not hungry. So I'm like, all right, like, kind of monitoring it. She doesn't really want to eat much. So I'm trying to give her like little things here and there. And around like 2:00, they're hanging out, and my daughter starts puking, and like, just continues throughout the day nonstop. My oldest was just at night. She always brings these fucking diseases home from school. And like, she's like patient zero every time for the house, and she always gets it like the least. So then, Sunday, my wife gets home from work, and, she just keeps puking. If she tries to drink water, she pukes it up. So then I didn't think this would be such a puke heavy episode for episode 100, but we're getting there. So, don't worry, we're going to talk about sex toys too. So it's going to be a fun episode. Stick with me. We'll get there. And so she pukes, and then Monday, me and my wife both wake up, and immediately I'm like, my stomach is like just queasy, like from the get-go. So, I get up, and I'm trying to think when. I don't even remember. I get my daughter to school. Like my wife and I were like trying to figure out who was less likely to puke on the way to school. I was more likely to puke because my wife doesn't puke. I think I've seen her puke like twice since we've been together, which is crazy. So like finally, like I dropped my kid off. I had a couple errands. I had like 2 packages from eBay. Shout out to eBay. And I've took a bunch of pictures to start listing more on eBay, by the way. So I will be getting more up on eBay, getting more active, getting more in the swing of things. I'm just overwhelmed by stuff right now. And so once I get that shit all out. So yeah. Anyway, back to the puke. Quick break. Back to the puke. So I get home, and I'm hanging out, and I'm like, all right, it's time. I gotta go. And I go upstairs and like violently throw up, like the hardest I've ever puked in my life. And then same thing. It just kept throughout the day. Like, I think I threw up like 10 times, like no exaggeration. Like it got to the point where I wasn't throwing anything up. And I was like, all right, I think I'm done. I would take a few sips of water, and immediately it would just come up, just water. It was awful. It was the worst stomach bug I've ever had. My wife lucked out. She just had fucking diarrhea. When you're running down the hall, you feel something fall, diarrhea, plop, 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 diarrhea, plop, plop, plop. So I was worried. I didn't know if I was going to be able to do the podcast. So I apologize if my voice goes in and out. It was, pretty banged up yesterday. And so, yeah, it was like the whole day, just out of commission. And so I didn't eat anything pretty much that whole day. I had like a little bit of applesauce at night. And then of course I like slept throughout the day because I couldn't do anything. I couldn't watch TV because I couldn't go on my phone. I just had to like lay there and close my eyes all day. It was brutal. And then the next day, like yesterday, I wasn't hungry at all. Just the entire day, no appetite. But I bid on a storage unit. There was 2 storage units I was bidding on. One was at like 200. One was at like 500. And I wanted the one that was higher, but the other one was like not like going over my bid. So I was like, well, I might end up winning that one. So once that one I got outbid on the smaller one. I went all in on the other one. I paid a little over 800 after tax for this one, and I was like, obviously after the last unit, I'm like gun shy. So gun shy that I spent over 800 on this unit. But I think it's going to be fine. I think it's a good unit. I think we're going to make some money for real. There was a lot of trash, unfortunately. And not like trash, like, oh, people just left their shit. It was like, I think somebody was going through like an estate, because there was some bins that were like labeled done, and those all were filled with like family pictures and bullshit and paperwork. And then the other stuff was just kind of everything was all mixed in together. So it's kind of a mess out there. I've kind of picked through the stuff that, I knew right off the bat was worth some money. There was like a little tabletop blow mold that's in like great condition. Some old like Jinko style jeans from like the early 2000s. Not the same brand, but like same style. So I think I looked up the brand and it looked like it did well. Sutter's or something like that. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to take some sips because my throat's. And then there was some clothes, like brand new clothes. There was a box of brand new water pipes. So like the little pipes that you smoke, like it's supposed to be for tobacco, but we're going to sell them as water pipes. I mean, people smoke weed with them. I wouldn't do that, but there's a bunch of them here. I can actually show you because I'm on camera now. So this is just a small box. Oops, sorry. There was just one small box on top with like all these. They're all brand new. All brand new. So there was like a whole little box of those. And then I found another bin mixed in with those. And then like a bunch of bubblers, bongs, pipes. So like, yeah, the pothead in me was pretty excited about that. So I think we'll do fine. Like, it's all literally brand new from the manufacturer. Like, this person was getting ready to start some type of business. So yeah, there's a good amount of stuff. A lot of Coach purses, not in great shape, but for like an estate yard sale, people are gonna buy them up. I'm gonna see if my buddy wants them first, and then I'm trying to think what else was in there. Oh yeah, the biggest fucking dildo you've ever seen in your life. Like massive. There was a shoebox, and I took a video yesterday when I first got to the unit. I wanted to do an update, so like to update what's on the unit, but it just got too late in the day, and there was so much trash that like, it would have been hard to kind of go through and show you what I found that was worth it. So yeah, I'm going to do a second follow-up video to that one with some of the stuff that's in it. But yeah, just the biggest fucking dildo you've ever seen in your life. It was the length of the shoebox, and it was like the size. It was like the size of my fist to like my forearm, like. But it wasn't a fist. It was just a dick, a giant dick, and it was white too, which is kind of weird. Usually those would be like black, I would think, but I mean, I don't know. I've never bought a dildo that size. I've never bought a dildo, period. But it was like. It looked like I thought about doing a reveal where I pretended it was. I'm not good at editing videos, but I was gonna pretend it was the little baby from the little baby alien that pops out of the dude's chest in the first Alien. It's that size. Like, this thing was huge. And then there was a couple other like random sex toys mixed in, and then like aggressive squirt porn. It was like 4 DVDs of aggressive squirt porn. So I don't know if I can sell that stuff. I mean, I'm going to try. I feel like that dildo's got to be expensive, I thought about keeping it as a weapon, like sanitizing it and then just keeping it to defend my home with a giant dick. Like, you could hurt somebody with that, not just in the vagina or the ass, but like beating them with it. So yeah, it was an interesting unit. The trash is going to be, I just got my dump sticker, so I just got to kind of load some things and take a few dump runs. I could probably load it all up in the trailer actually and just do it all in one. But the problem is you got to put them in like blue bags, which is annoying as fuck. I wish I could just take it and dump it. So that'll be a little bit of a time suck, but there was a lot of good stuff. like I said, we have our yard sale next week. We were going to try to push it, but it's just, I have so much stuff. And we have some neighbors that want to get in on it. So I think it'll be like a big neighborhood yard sale. And I think we'll do well because there's not really any yard sales this early that are worth going to. And people kind of know my yard sale for this time of year. They know they're going to get good stuff at a really good price. And yeah, I plan on doing 3 days. I've only done 1 day. So we have that much stuff that we're going to try to do 3 days of the sale. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. My wife is like really wants to get this sale going. So she's usually when she's like, we need to get this shit out of here. I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm trying. The snow finally melted. We had like 3 days in the high 50s. And there's finally no snow. So there's finally plenty of space. I just got to clean up some of the yard because we're going to have to like extend it to, we usually do the end of the driveway into like, I'm on a dead end so you can kind of go into the street a little bit. But we're going to have to do that and like use my front yard. We don't really have a front yard. But we're going to have to like put stuff over there because there's just so much stuff. Like it's crazy how much stuff we have. So yeah, I'm excited about that. I love doing the yard sale. It's like a nice way to kind of kick off the yard sale season. I get all the other resellers in the area bogged down with all the shit I don't want. And, so, so I kind of get them overwhelmed. And then, yeah, we'll go from there. What else is going on? We've got another Whatnot show tomorrow night, Thursday night, every Thursday night, 8:30 p.m. And then, of course, follow us on there because we always do pop-ups. I might do a pop-up with these pipes. Pipe pop-up. A pipe pop-up. But I don't know. I'm not sure yet. I might put them in my buy it now. It's just I hate storing glass. I really do. I'm always worried I'm going to break it. I already came down and like the box that had all the little glass pipes in it had been taken out of the bin. So one of my kids was like going through it already. Good thing they're not used, but I mean, they're easily broken and they look like little elephants. So they're like, oh, I want that. So yeah. So tomorrow night we've got, I bought a collection at an estate sale of these little mini fashion figurines. They're like little mannequins. So if you're into that stuff, it's really cool. I'm excited about that. And yeah, every Thursday we go live. So yeah, 100 episodes, man. It's been fun. I like doing this podcast. It's, it's obviously a labor of love. It's not a ton of work. So it's fun to do. And, yeah, I don't know why I just drew a blank right now. Here, let me pull this up because right now I don't know why I just drew a blank. I know I have stuff to talk about. Get my little... Oh, yeah, dude, we went... There's a place up the street called Cool Cone. And they do ice cream, obviously. And so it was like one of the nice days, and my daughter was like begging to go to get ice cream. She was like, she never asked to go get ice cream, but she's like, Dad, can we please go get ice cream? It's hot. I want to get ice cream. I'm like, well, it's not really hot, but, So she kept asking. So when my wife got home, I think it was Wednesday maybe, because my wife was working. So when she got home, we went out to go get food. And we get there, we order. We ended up getting food first because we're like, we'll just go eat dinner there and then we'll get some ice cream. We'll go eat like early dinner and then they can have ice cream. And hopefully they're not wired before bed. Because when you have kids, you got to like pick when you give them sweets and shit. Like some people just give their kids sweets all the time. And like it's, no judgment. Whatever you want to do. It just makes your job harder. Like they had a thing at school on Friday because it was, yesterday. It was yesterday. Friday. Yesterday was St. Patrick's Day. And so they had cookie. My daughter came home fucking like a crackhead. Dude, she was wired. She like could not go to sleep. And she's like, yeah, I had like 2 cookies. I had a chocolate thing. Like she was like, yeah, I had a cookie with green frosting, but I didn't like the cookie, so I just ate the green frosting. And like, she's like, yeah, my tongue was green. Look. And I'm like, it's not green anymore. She's like, oh man. So yeah, so like we don't really give our kids a ton of sugar. Like we're like, all right, you can have like one thing today, and then you're taking a break. And so she wanted ice cream, so like, all right, we're gonna go there. We get our dinner, and we're like eating our dinner, and this lady sits down, and she comments on our kids. She's like, oh, I'm meeting my daughter, and this, that, and the other. And then she just doesn't shut the fuck up, and we're trying to eat. And so I'm just like, yeah, I'm trying to be like polite. And then finally I'm just like, all right, I'm eating. I'm not like even acknowledging her. So I just kind of ignored her. And then she like stands up and she's walking around. This other guy is there with his kids. His kids are older, like probably like 2 teenage girls. So she starts talking to him. And she's like going on and on. And like then she starts getting into politics with this guy she just met 2 seconds before it. And I'm like, oh God, I'm just glad she's not talking to me. And then she's like out in the other thing talking to other people. Like she was just very chatty. Like she wasn't really hurting it, but it was just the like so deranged to see somebody just this like, and then she kept going, I don't know where my daughter is. I don't know why she's not here yet. And I'm like, I kind of know. She's probably trying to delay this. So yeah, this lady just was going on and on and on. And then she just left her purse like in the other room, and I'm like waiting for her to come back and accuse somebody of going through it. I'm like, let's just get the fuck out of here. So the kids wanted to eat the ice cream there. I was like, no, let's just go. Like I did not want to be around this lady. So not the best story, I guess. Let me get these zins out. Let me see. Oh, that's right. So I went to an estate sale on Thursday. And it was like they like posted it a week prior, and they were like, yeah, we're having a estate sale, but like we'll post the address the night before. And they never did. So I reached out, never heard from them. And then they finally got back to me like the next day at like 10:30, 11 a.m. And they're like, yeah, the sale's going on right now. Here's the address. So I just drove over there. There was like one lady there before me. She wasn't really looking for anything I was looking for. So I found some cameras. I got some good Olympus cameras. One I already sold for like $100. Paid $20 for everything. So I already sold a camera for like $105 on eBay. And then I got like a couple other like smaller value cameras, like probably $20 to $30. A couple other different random like toys and stuff like that. And and yeah, so it worked out. It was worth like going out there and driving out there. It wasn't like too far. It was like probably 30 minutes. And then they had, what else did they have? Oh yeah, they had like a bag of so I asked first, I was like, oh, do you guys have any like video game stuff? And she's like, oh yeah. She's like, she had her son take me down into the basement. Oh wait, this was a separate sale. I'm getting mixed up. That was Thursday's sale. So I got the stuff from that sales Thursday. And then Saturday there was another sale. There's some sales are coming in. That's how fucking it's starting. It's starting to get there. So then Saturday there was another sale, and it was like a multifamily sale. And so I went down, and luckily I went to the right house first because there was 2 different houses. So I went to the first house, and like I went there like 20, 30 minutes before they opened. They're like, oh yeah, come on in. So I asked about video games, and they took me down to the basement. They had like when you ask a mom like if they have video games, they never know what the fuck they're talking about. She's like, oh, I've got like 1,000 PlayStation games. So I'm like, oh fuck yeah. And then I get down there and it's a bunch of Xbox 360, which is fine. But there was a lot. There was like probably 40 to 50 games. And then there was like a stack of Wii U games, a working Wii U console, which I've yet to find one that actually works correctly. So I kept that one because I had a Wii U that was like not functioning correctly. It would work randomly. So I'm going to sell that one for parts on our next video game Whatnot, which will be coming up soon because we have a fuckload of video games to go through. I might thin out my collection too. There's some games that I've just kind of put aside that I wanted, but my game collection is kind of overflowing, and I don't really have a ton of time to play games like I want to. But I don't want to thin the collection out like that much. So probably won't really thin it out. Who knows? And then, so I got all that stuff. That was about all I found at that sale. They had other stuff, but it was like a moving sale. So they kind of had already gone through a lot of stuff. And, it was just, but as I was going through the video games, one of my competitors, he's this guy in the area I see all the time. And he always asked for video games and stuff. So he came in there like right as I was going through the video games. And so, yeah, I know he was mad that I got that. So, but if there was another like house on the sale that I went to afterwards, and it was just, there was nothing in there that I wanted. It was like a lady and then her mom was next door, and they were each having a sale. And the mom's stuff was like not anything I wanted. So I'm glad it worked out that way, because like sometimes you go to a sale like that, you go to the wrong house, and then, that 5 minutes costs you, that was the only thing I got. I paid $20 too for everything. She was like, I had a pile of video games, and she's just like, $20? I'm like, done. So I kept a couple of the Wii U games. Now they got a working Wii U. I actually swapped one out. There was like a Super Mario Bros. U, I think it is, and it had like a second game included, like the Luigi version. So I had the Luigi version that came with the stuff, and then they had like two copies. Does that make sense? So I had a copy of the actual one. So I basically took the copy with the 2 on it, and now I can sell the copy with just the 1 and then the other single disc. I don't know if that makes sense to you. Maybe that made sense. But so yeah, $20. When she said $20, I was like, so I'm hoping that that's the theme of yard sale season. Like last year, at this time of year, people were pricing shit. Like a buy like that would have cost at least $50 and some negotiation to get down to that 50. But when you start at $20, like I was like, done. I'm not going to even fight you on that. I'm just going to hand you 20 and be on my way. Like I handed her 20. I was like, I'm going to keep shopping, but I'm going to pay you for this. So it's mine. She's like, all right. But then I didn't find anything. There was like some man cave stuff, but there was a box full of bar taps, but I'm like, who does anybody actually buy that stuff? And it wasn't anything great, and they were all kind of falling apart. Like they look like they used it in their own bar, you know what I mean? So they probably didn't take great care of it. But it was a sick like downstairs man cave. And some of the games they didn't take great care of, but there was enough to make it worth it. So I tested all the Wii U games, they all worked. Except for one. One didn't work, but it's like a $10 game, nothing crazy. But it is nice that like there's sales starting to stack. There's a church sale this weekend. I don't know if I'm going to get to it. My wife wants to go see her family, so I don't know when we're leaving. If we go up Friday, I mean, I can go to sales up there Saturday. But if we leave Saturday, I'm going to go to sales here, and then we'll just go out there after that. But, there's not a ton of sales right now. It's still very early in the season. Yard sale season doesn't start till I have my sale. That's what I think. So, yeah, 100 episodes, man. I keep trying to reflect on 100 episodes because it's a lot. When I started podcasting, I insisted on I was trying to do like the Joe Rogan thing and do interviews, and it's fun, but it's hard to get people down for interviews. I'm finding that on trying to do the new podcast. I'm not giving up on the new podcast, not by a long stretch. I'm just saying it's going to take a little while. I think the becoming an affiliate with My Reseller Genie is going to help. Kind of gives me a little bit of legitimacy in that space. So yeah, I'm hoping that I can, get a couple people on board. I've talked to Philly Flipper, and he's interested in doing the podcast. But I haven't worked out the details. We're just friendly on Whatnot. We go to each other's shows and stuff. So I think, he said he'll do it. I'm hoping that he's gonna stick to that. But we'll see. I'm still trying to work out getting a bunch of other people. I have another friend who does like collecting stuff, and he was big in the comic book space for a while, so he's down to do it too. I think his thing is Monster Card Cult is his Instagram. So yeah, it's getting there, slowly but surely. Slowly but surely. I feel like I had a lot more stuff to talk about. I feel like there's more to talk about in that storage unit. There was like they kept so many pictures. Like I've never seen so many pictures in a storage unit. It was like a crazy amount of pictures. I kept finding little boxes at the bottom of bins. I'm like, oh, dude, please be something good like treasures and it was always just photos. By the end, I was like, this is going to be photos. And I was right every time. So it was an interesting unit. Like I said, it's not like going to be the best unit ever, but I'm definitely going to make some money. It wasn't a ton of work. I got to dig my trailer out. I had to get my trailer up and running again. I need a connecting piece for the light. I thought I had the entire kit, but they like didn't send a piece that I need. And now I got to try to find just the piece. And, with all the other shit going on, it's just like one less thing I can remember to do. It's a lot of shit you got to remember. A lot of shit. And yeah, this like anytime we get sick or something on a Monday, it throws the whole week off. Like just the entire week trying to get caught back up, it was tough. I had an assignment due yesterday for my school, and it was like 8:00, and I was like, I haven't even started this assignment. It was my final project. So I may or may not have used AI to help me finish the project in time. But I mean, it's a class that they teach you about using AI to do marketing. You know what I mean? So like the new age of marketing is using AI. So that's just what I'll say. I'm like, hey, I got it done. If the client asked me to get this done, it would be done, right? They wouldn't care if it was done by AI, It wasn't like, anything like I had to write a paper. It was just a social media plan. So I changed it to fit what I needed, and yeah. But I'm overwhelmed right now. So if you're a reseller and you're overwhelmed, just know that you're always going to be overwhelmed. I remember when I first started reselling, I was like, oh, I'm just going to, when I first started, I boxed everything up. Like I would go out to yard sales. I'd buy a bunch of shit, take all the pictures, and then I'd box everything up. So I just had a like pile of boxes, and it takes up so much more space. And you're like, oh, this is like a great idea, until you realize that this shit's just not going to sell immediately. And then you've just got boxes on boxes. So when I first started, I mean, obviously it's a learning curve, and you got to figure out, what you're going to do. But yeah, I would box them all up and then hope that they would sell. And yeah, I mean, you just kind of learn as you go. I don't remember why I started talking about that, for whatever reason. Yeah. I was trying to plan more stuff out for the podcast, but obviously like being sick for 2 days really kind of fucked me. All right, hold on here, because I know I got it. This is 100th episode. We can't be falling short of an hour. So let me see. I know there was some other stuff I wanted to talk about. One of the things I wanted to talk about, though, was like I found a pager in the storage unit, and it was a cool pager. Like I'm gonna hang on to it just to sell. I haven't actually looked up if it's worth anything, but it was just crazy to see like a pager. So I don't know if this person was selling drugs at some point or what, but I vaguely remember having a pager. Like I think my mom had a pager that she would let me use. So like it was for, obviously for emergencies. If I was out without her, it's like a work pager. She would page it and then I have to call her. So I don't know if you're young enough to not know what a pager is. It was like a little thing, and it had its own number, and somebody would page you. And when you got the page, you'd have to call them from like, you'd have to find like a somebody who had a landline, or you'd have to find a payphone, and then you'd have to call them. And then it made me start thinking, like, I've talked about this before on the show, but like in the 90s, whenever you'd go to somebody's house, the TV was just on, like, all the time. And we don't put our TV on again until like the end of the day. Like, the kids will watch TV throughout the day, maybe twice. Like, they'll get TV time when I'm making lunch and then when I'm making dinner. But like in the 90s, yeah, it was just always on. I forgot there's a camera. Fuck. Is this blinking again? Because it's gonna... Oh no, it's blinking because of the battery this time. Let me... Do I have a charger for this? Yes, I do. All right, hold up 1 second. I don't want this to die, but I have a charger right here. So I'm just going to run real quick. I don't want to pause anything because I don't want to fuck it up, but I'll try to edit this. All right, hold up. I don't know why it's still saying that the charger is not... Let me see, yeah, this is still on. All right, well, I don't know why it's not... The charger's not staying on. Charge. Yeah, it's plugged in. This is plugged in, and it's got charge. I don't know, man. I will figure this out. I'm hoping that the battery lasts long enough to get through the end of this episode. Man, I don't know what's going on. I got this camera to make it easier. First time it overheated. This time the battery died. Is there a way? I had it like almost fully charged up. I mean, it was like halfway charged, and then I had to charge it up a little bit more. But does it not charge while it's plugged in? Sorry, guys. This is part of the growing pains of being a video podcast. I'm trying to figure this out. I thought I had it, but I the other problem too is I keep forgetting to shut the camera off. There's like a button you have to shut it off. It doesn't auto shut off. So I always forget to turn it off, and then the battery runs, and then I go to record the podcast, and I'm like, fuck, I left the camera on, and I have to throw it on the charger for a few minutes. But I thought it would just charge while I had it hooked up, so I don't know. Maybe we'll delay the dying process, but who knows? Maybe it'll last the last 20 minutes. If it does get cut off, I might just have to post it and then say fuck it. I don't know how that's going to work. Man, that's frustrating. I feel like I'm going to lose this whole video. I feel like I'm going to lose the whole video. All right, well, we'll figure it out. I don't want to get too bogged down in all that. We just finished One Piece, season 2 of the live action show. My wife had never seen it, so I got her to watch the first season, like the Sunday before it came out, and because I was like, I think I tried to get you to watch it, and you had no interest. Like, she wasn't into it at first, and then as soon as I got her into it, she was like, she wanted to keep watching it, and then once we finished the second season, she's like, I can't believe you got me addicted to something that's only got 2 seasons. Like, I want more of the show. I was like, well, you could watch the anime. There's like 1,000+ episodes of the anime. I'm only like 25 episodes in. I tried to watch a few episodes while I was sick, and I could not. I kept falling asleep because I just felt like shit. But she was watching it, and she's like, it got to the character Chopper in the live action one, and she was like saying how annoying Chopper's voice was at certain parts. I was like, well, if you thought Chopper's voice was annoying in that show, like, there's no way you're gonna like the anime. Like Luffy's character in the show is like, just that screeching anime. Like, I don't know why they do that in anime. Does anybody know why they do? I love anime, but I don't understand why the English dubs are always so ridiculous. They're always yelling and like whiny, and I mean that's the style, but yeah, that's why my wife's not gonna watch it. As soon as she said like, yeah, Chopper's voice is annoying, I was like, oh well, if you think that's annoying, then I don't think the anime is gonna be for you. Plus, she's not big into animated stuff. She's never been a big like animation fan. There's some stuff that she'll like. The new Spider-Man trailer came out today. That looks pretty good. I mean, it's kind of I was kind of underwhelmed by it, to be honest with you. I thought it was cool. We got to see Punisher. We got to see Bruce Banner. Got to see Tarantula. There's a couple cool like cameos and stuff in the trailer, but I don't know, man. I hope it's good. It just kind of, we'll see. Scorpion was in it, so we'll see. There was another character I don't really know, so yeah, we'll see how that is. That's where I'm at in the podcast today. I'm talking about trailers and shit that I've watched. So yeah, I went to go get the storage unit yesterday, and I forgot to bring anything to tie stuff down. Fucking idiot. I thought it'd be good because it was all bins, but unfortunately a lot of the bins were like broken on the top, so a couple of them were like not all the way on, and I didn't have anything in the car to tie it down, so I tried to get it as good as I could, and as soon as I got on the road, the friggin' tops to two of the bins opened up, and like shit flew out, so I had to pull over. I'm like grabbing shit off the highway. I fixed the bins again. I'm like, all right, I think I got it, and I start driving. I get on the highway, and I start seeing like friggin' Christmas ornaments start to fall out of the back. And I'm like, oh, motherfucker. So I pull over again, and there's a bin with like Christmas ornaments that's half open that I thought was closed. I closed that one, rearranged everything again, start driving, and a black bag of like a small black bag of clothes that I thought I had tied to one of the things to try to keep it done had fallen off again. So I'm like, at that point, I'm like, that I'm just not even stopping for that. Like there was cars like all over. It was like in the middle of the road at that point. So, I never litter. I fucking hate it that I had to leave some of that stuff, but it was everywhere. So then when I went back to go pick up the other stuff, I brought bungee cords, and of course I didn't need them. So every time I bring that fucking trailer, I forget something. Always. I'll grab like everything I need, and then I forget something. And I think I need a new tire. One of the tires keeps going flat. It works, like I can pump it up and like it gets me from point A to point B, but then it like if it sits for a few days, it gets flat again. So I don't know what's going on with it. That old trailer, it only cost me $150, but I've got my money worth out of it. And then I got to pay for registration. It's like $40 to register it, but it's it's doing what it needs to do. But yeah, I was like, I could not believe. And then when I got to the end of like the trip, a state trooper, it was like the state cops or whatever. One got right behind me. I was like, oh fuck, dude, he's gonna pull me over, and he just got off that exit. And then I'm driving, and then on the next exit, a state trooper comes out. I was like, fuck, is that the same guy? And it was a different state trooper. He just went right past me and kept going. So yeah, I was worried that he was gonna be like, I saw you drop shit out of your trailer. But that didn't happen, so I lucked out on that one. Because I had talked before, I had that court date, supposed to be on February 25th, I think. But because of the snowstorm that we had, the court was closed. So I had no way to get into the court. So finally, like, I kept calling them back. And they're like, yeah, we'll let you know. You got to call back another week. And so finally I call back, and I'm like, so the lady's like, yeah, they're going to be sending out new dates for everything. And I was like, honestly, like mine was supposed to be done like 2 weeks ago. Somebody told me that they might be getting rid of like any of these type of situations, because I never know how to explain it. So then like when I explained what I was actually doing there, because I told her what I was there for, it's a continuance without a finding. That's what it's called. And so when I said that, she didn't really know what I was talking about. But then I was like, well, no, I had a speeding ticket, and I was supposed to go back, and like they were just going to take it off. So she's like, oh, those were found non-responsible. So I was like, oh, okay. So they finally got the thing in the mail last week that said, it confirmed that I was not responsible. So I didn't have to go back for that court date. So it wasn't as bad as if I would have gotten pulled over and had that court date hanging over my head. Because then I would have got hit for the original thing. He was like, if you get pulled over for anything, court date is going to, you're going to get hit with this speeding ticket. So I'm very glad. I mean, I don't try to get pulled over. You know what I mean? I try to like drive the speed limit, but sometimes you have a trailer and you're a fucking idiot. Sometimes you're just fucking retarded. And so then, oh man, I was just about to talk about something else. Oh yeah, they're doing construction like at the end of our street. There was a bridge. I think I talked about this before. But there's a bridge at the end of our street, and then they're trying to raise it up so that like boats can go under it. So I've talked about this before. How the only people that this helps are the fucking shoobies that come in. They're not going to deal with any of the construction. They're going to come in after this fucking stupid bridge is built to ride their stupid fucking schooners or whatever the fuck you call them. Their fucking fancy boats, in and out of our waters. But like every day it's a new traffic pattern, and then there's a cop at like either end kind of directing traffic, not really, but our neighborhood's right there. So I went to pull in today, and I pull in and I'm like half hanging out into the street because it's a neighborhood entrance. Like there's no signs like do not enter right now. So I pull in and this fucking construction worker guy runs out in front of my car waving his arms. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, and he's got this machine with this giant metal slab, like fucking huge. It must be putting it down like on the ground or something. And so then he tells me to go. I was like, what the fuck was that? Just let me go. Like, either have somebody directing traffic in, but don't jump out in front of my car fucking waving your arms to tell me to stop when I'm trying to come back into my neighborhood. Like, so I'm starting to get annoyed. I almost rolled down the window, but I was like, I need to save my voice for this podcast. But yeah, I can't wait till that's done. They don't do it on the weekend, so I don't think it'll affect yard sales because, during the day it just makes traffic a bitch. It's a main road, and it's, it's annoying. So that's my little bitch about construction right now. I hope they finish it soon. I don't think they will, but we'll see. It's, it's going to be probably a long way until they're done with it. Yeah. The other day I was thinking about too, to go back to one thing that I was talking about, like when everybody had their TVs on in the 90s. The other thing I used to do too is like parents were always on the phone. Like my mom was always on the phone with like my daycare provider. They would just randomly be talking for like hours. You know what I mean? Like she would just get on the phone with somebody and she would be on the phone for like a hot minute. And then once it got to the point where you were old enough to have your own friends and want to use the phone, then you'd have to compete with like your parents or who, some people obviously had older siblings or whatever, but you'd have to compete for time on the phone. I don't know. I was just thinking about that randomly. People don't really talk, talk on the phone much anymore. It's always like, I just want to text. Like I'll text my older neighbors stuff and they always call me back. like, I texted you, right? You could just text it back. Like I hit up my neighbor like last week about something and he called me back. It's like, yeah, I'm like, all right. So I reached out to the other neighbors today to be like, hey, I'm getting my yard sale going, so get your shit together. But right now, like I said, it's looking like rain, but it's like 11 days out or just at the 10-day forecast. So it's like 50-50 whether it's going to rain is what it says. 50, or my wife's had 40, mine said 50, so I hope hers is more right. Because we need to get this yard sale going. Yard sale / estate sale / storage unit sale. My daughter wants to do lemonade, but she's going to be at school because it's Thursday, Friday. So Saturday would be the day that she can do the lemonade. But we got to build a lemonade stand. I hit up my cousin. I was like, hey, do you still have that lemonade stand from like 6 years ago that you had? And she does not. Her kids are too old for it. But she said she built it from like some shit she got at Walmart. So she told me how to build it. So I'm hoping they still have all the pieces and I could just go build one. Because my daughter's been asking me to do a lemonade stand. So this is going to be the only chance to do it until the fall. Because we're not doing another yard sale until the fall. If we even do one. we'll see. I mean, Whatnot's kind of taken a lot of my yard sale stuff. But like a yard sale, just it's the once a year one. It's easy to do, to make a lot of money. And yeah, like I said, people look forward to it. I've got like regulars that come, some people that come from out of state. So they might be disappointed because I'm not going to have video games this year. But I never really have like video games that are worth traveling for. You know what I mean? It's not really worth coming all the way to get video games from me because, most of the time, well, especially now, like the last time I would do it, I would just, whatever video games weren't worth a ton, I'll just put in there. But now, like the $2-3 video games, I sell those on Whatnot. I'll do dollar starts, sell them on Whatnot in one big sale and make a few dollars more than selling the whole bin to another reseller at my yard sale. So unfortunately, that's just kind of the new business model for video games. But we'll see. I think this summer is going to be good, man. I'm getting a good feeling. Like last summer, this time of year, going to any sales, it was like, it would be ridiculously priced. But the fact that I went to 2 sales in a row and they both were just like $20, I think people are clearing out. I think that dream of like, anybody can be a reseller is kind of going away. It's hard work. Not everybody can be a reseller. You can do it if you've got the time, you've got the space, you've got the patience. But a lot of people are just like, I just want this gone quick. And they think like, I'm just going to, it's easy. I'm just going to sell it online or sell it on Facebook. Even Facebook Marketplace is like, it's really hard to move stuff on there unless you're selling it like way under value. There's occasionally stuff that I find, but like my Facebook is like, I haven't sold much of my Facebook, and people don't really send you offers. People are like afraid to send you offers on Facebook for some reason. And then half the time I don't see the notification, so I don't see it until like a couple weeks later. I get back to the person and hear nothing. So, it is what it is. Yeah, I don't know why Facebook hasn't been great, but we'll see. I'm hoping it translates to, better yard sale season. We'll see. We shall see. There's a church sale this Saturday that I've done all right at in the past, but I don't know if it's worth like, planning a whole day of picking around that one sale. I found one year, like for 50 cents, I found like a Disney stuffy that I sold for like $150. I forget what it was from. It was like a cricket or something. I don't remember what it was, but it was some rare Disney stuffy. So, but I'm excited to start picking for like Whatnot and stuff because, there's a lot of times when I would leave big bulk bundle deals on the table because I'm like, I don't have the time to go through and list all this. But like Whatnot now, has given us the ability to list that stuff and get rid of it quickly. So yeah, I guess, after 100 episodes, I'm excited to keep doing this podcast. This is the part where I reflect. This is the deep reflection part. I'm excited to get this new podcast up and running. I am, kind of aware now that I'm in a little over my depth with this podcast, but I'm going to call in some help and some favors, and I'm going to get this thing done. And, our Whatnot's going to continue to grow. I think we're doing it the right way. Everything I try to do with this business is to just create organic growth, be myself, just there's a lot of bullshit online that people have to kind of wade through to find you. But I think once I find the people that, are here for me, then we'll be in good shape, And I think I'm happy to be where I'm at right now. 6-7 years into reselling. I have an opportunity to get paid for podcasting, for being a reseller, just through online content. And I'm hoping that those opportunities will only keep coming. So, I'm just thankful to anybody who's listened to this podcast. There's a handful of you that listen every week, like when the show comes out. So thank you. I know it's not always the best podcast. I'm not always prepared. So there's some weeks where I just didn't have time to get all my talking points down, and for the people that have stuck around and have been patient to see where this goes, I appreciate it. And I'm going to continue to try to get better at this. And, like I said, once I'm not so overwhelmed, I'm hoping to kind of get back in the swing of things. Once my taxes are done, that's the part I'm at right now. Is like I just got to get my taxes. Whenever I have that whole hanging over my head, it always takes me like a couple hours, but I just put it off. So I just got to do it because, today would have been the day to do it. I think I'm going to do it later today. I don't think I'm going to get back to the storage unit today. I don't have to go anywhere. It's just all outside, and it's not supposed to rain the next day. So today's just freezing. It went from like being in the high 50s to like the 30s, which, isn't like a crazy difference unless you kind of actually consider how crazy the difference is. So yeah, I'm just hoping like tomorrow is going to be a little bit warmer so I can go all I got to do is just get the trash together out there, and then I'll have more space to kind of organize and go through and then size dildos, because there were several dildos. It wasn't just the gigantic one. That was the Showstopper. That was the Showstopper. That's going to be the episode title. I was trying to fit in dildo to the title, but I don't think that dildo would be a great title. I was going to try to name the title a preposterously large dildo, but I'm going to call it the Showstopper. So the Showstopper, dude, that thing. Oh man. And you can't I didn't post it on social media, obviously, because it's a giant dick. But I sent a picture to my buddy Dan. Shout out to Dan. Flip the table if he's still ever going to sell his shit. But I sent the picture to him because I knew, he's one of those friends that I'm just like, I can send you a picture of a dick. And you're not going to be like, what the fuck, bro? So I texted my neighbor, because we're like, we're cool. We've known each other for a few years now, but I'm just not going to send him a picture of a dick. You know what I mean? So I was like, so he was asking me about the storage unit. I was like, oh, I found the most preposterously large dildo I've ever seen in my fucking life. And he's like, you got a picture? So I sent him the picture of this thing, and it's in a shoebox. You could see how fucking big it is compared to this shoebox. But man, that thing was fucking, I can't imagine like some chick being like, oh, I want to use this on myself for pleasure. Like, dog, that's like a baby's head. Like, so, I don't know how stretched your coochie's got to be like, I need this thing. Like, this is what I need. Or hopefully it was a joke. I hope it was a joke, but that thing was fucking massive. I'm telling you, I could beat the shit out of somebody with it, and it would cause some damage, like brain damage. So yeah, I've been buying. I've got to stop. I'm like to the point where I'm like, I'm done. But like I've been doing these character breaks on Whatnot, where you pick up like a Pokemon character, and then if that character hits, then you get that card. But you're like, you're paying for the chance to get that card, and it's just basically gambling. So I'm like, I'm fucking done with this. But there's some that you can like actually hit and get slabs. So I've gotten pretty good at like hitting on the slabs. So I got a few One Piece slabs. I got a couple cool Pokemon slabs. I got like $200 Pokemon slabs in the same show in a matter of like a couple minutes because nobody was bidding on these fucking things. So I was like getting them for like $1 to $2 a piece. So I did do a bunch of them, but I ended up getting like, and then whatever I hit on those characters. So I did hit a few slabs. So I got a couple slabs coming, like a couple vintage Pokemon too. There was like, I really can't remember which ones they were right now. Maybe Gyarados? I don't remember, but there was like some vintage Pokemon cards. Like, there was one that was a first edition and one that was like a second with a little second on it. So there was a couple of those. So yeah, I was pretty happy with those. But yeah, I'm done like with the little character break. I get to the point where I'm like, oh, this is just gambling. I hate gambling. That's why I need yard sale season, because I can take that money and I like know. I'm like, oh, if I take out $100 and spend $100 this weekend, I'm turning this into a few $100, like no problem. So I'm just bored because there's not enough sales, and so yeah, I'm done with that. I'm done with spending money on fucking Pokemon breaks, unless there's like a guaranteed slab involved. But anyway, that's an hour of the podcast. This video still is on here, so I think it might actually work. Thank you so much for listening to the show. Make sure you subscribe. Tell your friends. If you like the show, make sure you hit the notification so you know exactly when the show comes out. Usually comes out on Wednesdays, but shit happens. Life happens. And then make sure you follow and bookmark Flips and Giggles on Whatnot. So bookmark all our shows. We've got a bunch of shows listed down there. You can bookmark them all in advance. They're all to be determined except for the one for tomorrow night. But, we've got some stuff lined up. I think I've got video games. I already said that. Video games, stuffed animals. We're going to do some Pokemon cards. And then, obviously, yard sale season is full swing. So I'm hoping to do some pop-ups and, start moving some shit. Some pipes. So if you need some water pipes to get fucking high. I mean, just water pipes for just water. I don't know what half of them don't even put water in them. But anyway. And then, if you're trying to get a discount on My Reseller Genie, again, you get 15% off the courses and then 15% off the first month of software if you use my code GIGGLES at checkout. So, Giggles, Giggles, like Flips and Giggles. I thought that was the perfect promo name. As soon as they asked me, like, what do you want your promo code to be? I said, Giggles, 100% Giggles. So, make sure you get on there and help me out. It would help me out a bunch if you signed up. If you're planning on signing up for My Reseller Genie, make sure you use my promo code GIGGLES. So that's the podcast. That's the 100th episode of the podcast. Hopefully you're here for episode 200. And and keep an eye out for Hindsight, Podcast of Pain. It's coming. So, all right, I'm going to finish up, and then I'm trying to get this edited up, and we'll hopefully have a show for you out later today. All right, peace.